Okay, we're doing this. Okay, so I'm here to talk about a certain person that made a post and then deleted it. To this person, I want to say, and I will call this man Mac. Listen, Mac. I know you deleted the post, and I know one of my other friends let you have it. But me, I gotta talk to you because I do got some personal shit to say to you. And this, you know, you know why I gotta say this. I gotta tell you this. Our mu- you know, my our mutual pal wanted to wanted to leave because you guys were basically just he he wanted to take a break and y'all just kept going, no, you're supposed to help us and all this other stuff. You gotta understand, he is a person too. He can't just he can't just work on a whim just because y'all ask. If he's got something going on, he's supposed to be left. He wants to be left alone. And now he's finally free to do whatever he wants. But you making that post and lashing out at him, like, Mac, let me just honestly fucking tell you that when we were cool, you would always do these little posts with your little characters scowling and getting mad and getting busy. Let me just tell you, it's not like given 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 your age and given my age, we should be ads in our ages. Straight up. Like, dude, I'm reading the post because it's a certain someone screenshotted it. To the person who betrayed our entire crew, will be ones of no longer characters on the channel, you're fired. Seriously, what? Okay, first of all, if he's your friend, why say you're fired? He's not an employee. Like, is everybody in your group not friends but employees that you don't pay? I mean, if I had a bunch of people doing voices, I'd pay them. Or at least give them gift cards or something. And and you guys are not doing any more Splatoon videos. I mean, it's like okay, but I'm just like, alright. But I'm like, but this is my thing with you, Mac. You always say, "Oh, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do. I'm going to be that better person." And then usually you end up going back on that. And I'm not here to talk. I'm not here to talk about. I'm not here to talk about a person's name who starts with an L because I hear she's doing way better. That's not what I'm here for. You need to understand. You need to stop treating people like they're objects. They're tools for you guys. And you gotta understand if the person wants to leave, let their they should be able to leave without any of you trying to pull what you pulled on another friend of ours. Okay? Because the what you did to because what you did to Space Queen was horrible. It was horrendous. It was bad. I don't care what your guys' reasoning was. You knew how old she was. And y'all brought your entire fan base upon her. And I have never. And even though I still was your friend, I always hated that. I always hated that you did that. And I got to know that person a lot more. And she kind of became like a little sister to me. And I will always, and regardless of what anybody thinks, I will always be there to help her out and protect her if I need to. Straight up. You, you guys need to take a hard look at yourselves. Also, the secret shit y'all like hid from the rest of your group. Yeah, I know about that. Because at the end of the day, if you are head of a community, am I correct? And you need to be treating all your members in this community with respect If they leave, they leave. If they're done dealing with all this shit because you guys put them through a lot of shit, you put them through a lot of shit. And also never and also here's my pet peeve. Never use the word blackmail when blackmail is not a thing. Blackmail is the concept of blackmail is having information over somebody to get what you want. And every time any of you have used blackmail, it never means what you think it means.
If I may interrupt about the whole blackmail thing. I'm still pissed off about that, Gene. And I will be pissed off for a long time about it.
And she
has. Because that started something that is still going on to this day, even though it's not as bad as it was.
Oh, it's not as prevalent.
But occasionally I get messages on my account.
And seriously, to everybody in that group, don't freak out just because we're making a video. Okay? Okay? Understand that when two people have a disagreement, they're able to voice that. Okay? You ain't saving Mac and the others because you're not saving Mac and the others by jumping in. What you're doing is foolhardy because whatever business two people have with each other on YouTube should stay between those people. Okay? You being little fans is not helping. You are not helping the situation. And, Gene, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, when you messed with Space Queen, when you guys were all mad at Space Queen, you guys literally, somehow, on MeWe, you got me to look in on it. Either knowing my reputation or not knowing my reputation at the time. And when I saw the video of Space Queen basically crying her eyes out, I said no. And that's why I didn't say anything about it or do anything about it. Because, yes, as a Fair Bear Basher, I've done things I am not proud of in any context. But I know what's right and what's wrong. And when you guys are mad at people, you never want to just let it go.
You guys take it way too far.
And I bring this up because you guys are treating Garrett the exact same way. Yes, Mac, you deleted that thing. But now every one of your fans are probably gonna go crazy on Rebelzilla for no reason. Because
let's not forget the fact that he also made a post in the morning as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I did, and that's what led up to me and him confronting in the morning. Albeit I was much nicer then because I was more alert, but yeah, after this last post, David, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat things anymore for you.
Neither will I.
And I told you how it is. I'm not going to repeat myself here because I don't want to get Bugsy into some shit.
Trust me, I spent half of the summer getting out of something like that. But let me just say this. I'm going to drop it because I'm going to say your name. David, listen to me. You never do before, but please. You need to understand something. People are not objects. If they want to leave because you've mistreated them or mishandled them or whatever, you got to let them leave. You gotta stop this emo posting shit, man. We're all adults, man. We ain't out here. This ain't fucking 2003. We're all on new grounds, listening. listening to My Chemical Romance, yes, I'm talking about myself. Listen, it's not cool, man. I don't know if the whole posting thing is like a coping mechanism you've always adopted. And if it is, you need to adopt a new one. This is just insanity. This is insane.
Speaking of coping mechanisms, David, I do believe I recall that I gave you multiple suggestions to cope back when I was 16. I told you, get a journal, write in it, listen to music, pick up a hobby that doesn't involve being online constantly. Do anything other than make these posts because it's really not healthy and it's really disgusting to see.
Yeah, with what's going on with you and with
Like,
you know.
the one wrong person is all it takes, David.
Mm-hmm.
And then your your community is done. You're done. That is the problem with cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
All it is one thing, one mistake, one screw up, and you're done.
True. Because you gotta understand one thing. Your community is toxic and you can't be weaponizing them against your former friends. It's just that's not right. Because let's be real. Most of your fan base are impressionable. And you need to
They're young teenagers who are impressionable, who enjoy playing video games and enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog.
indeed.
Exactly how I was back when I met you, back in the good old Google Plus days.
And how I was back in the day when me and my friends started our little group. You know? It's just like you need to understand these are teens, bro. These are teens that will hang off your every word because they think you're cool. You know? There was a time, David, when I really, 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 honest to God, thought of you as a friend. And it sucks because I tried to help you numerous times. But you never really listened to me. You never wanted to listen to me. And trust me, now I know the truth about, Elle, so I don't really have to really get into that. But it's like, you could do so much more and so many other things if you just stop this all this clownery, man. You have potential. I've said this to you numerous times. But you act as if, you act as if you're still a teenager, your goddamn self.
And David, I get it. You have your own mental health issues. You you might be bipolar. I'm not saying that for certain because I'm not a legal psychiatrist or whatever, but really, dude, you got some major anger issues and you need to get them sorted.
And I just want to say right
because you are difficult to deal with sometimes, my dude.
And I just want to say right here, none of us here at the Big Three Box Network are actual doctors. Although, if you want to be technical, I play a psychiatrist. But what I'm trying to say is that this whole thing has to stop. And the one thing I'm gonna say it right here. You all need to talk about the C-Man in the room, if you know what I mean. The one that likes wrestling. The one you're technically hiding from everybody else.
The letter C, by the way, people. Not the other thing.
I ain't talking about that. We ain't on nightlife.
But you know how some people can be with their minds, so
Yeah, I know.
thought I'd clarify that real quick. But
Spade.
yes, that does need to be addressed because Bugsy and I here, along with a departed friend who is no longer with our group,
He's not
who
dead.
is out doing his own thing,
Yep.
we really stuck ourselves out there to defend a certain someone who I will not name because privacy reasons.
We will not. Yeah. We did
We
every.
would just call this person A or them, whatever works best because they were non-binary.
Yeah. And we were trying to do our very best to help them from a very hard situation. And we did everything we could. But like the only reason I'm truly in this was because of our friend Rebelzilla, and the other thing, because you guys literally by having the Seaster in your group, you have literally undid everything me, our ex friend, and Chris and freaking Space was trying to do.
Hey, you can call me by my nickname if you need to. I know it gets confusing sometimes.
Yeah, sorry about that. You undermined everything me and Chrissy tried to do, basically. So at this point, I just gotta say, you guys can't be letting in everybody under the sun. Especially,
Like, you guys really need to screen who you're letting in
especially,
into your little clique, your inner circle, whatever you want to call it.
especially a wannabe John Cena. Because that's what he is, a wannabe John Cena. That tries to be like fucking mankind. Yes, I'm talking about wrestling shit.
Especially when you know the one whose name starts with the letter C threatened someone with
Yes.
violence.
Yes, and we had to go deal with
But
that too.
with an actual recording that we have.
Literally, David, we had to literally clean up messes that you guys created. It didn't really feel like we were all friends with you guys. It felt like we were janitors.
Yeah, we were basically picking up where you guys just left your mess.
And don't take offense to this, but it feels like it's like we're the janitors and you guys keep making messes and messes and messes. But this one mess you made recently now is just making me go, why the fuck were we cleaning this one spot to begin with? There's so many other spots. Shit.
And honestly, I am seeing red at this point because I see Garrett Rebelzilla as a younger brother, and I will defend him to my grave.
And I
And and David, this is for you specifically. I am not afraid of you anymore. You used to scare me as a kid because reasons I will not go into because that was years ago.
mm-hmm.
But I am not afraid of you anymore, and I will clap back if I need to.
And let me just tell you this, David. If you go aggro, bro, you've never seen me legitimately pissed off. And let me just tell you one thing. Do not mess with anybody. Do not mess with anybody I'm associated with. Because that's not cool. And trust me, I will clap back. Not in a violent way, mind you. But in a way that says, hey, I ain't gonna let you I'm not gonna let you harm anybody because you feel a certain kind of way. You know, it could have been way different, man. Everything could have been way different. If you just actually just took a step back and said, what am I doing? But you always do that, but then you go back to that other shit. You go back to old habits. And you can say, you're a monster, you're this, you're that. You make everybody feel sorry for you. Me included. Cause
And
you
you say it said in our DMs that you're going to start working on getting better. But how many times have you said that, David?
you said that to me 20 times, by the way. Yes.
Over the past nearly 7 years you've known me, how many times have you said that? Take a step back and think about that.
Yeah, seriously. And please, do not send your army of ankle biters after us. Sorry, I had to do it. Oh, my snark comes out. Sorry.
I mean, that's one thing to call them.
Well, we're not on my website, so I can't use any. I'm not going to use any harsher language.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
me and Double already pushed the envelope enough on YouTube as is.
Don't want to get too cocky and then get YouTube to do YouTube things with the YouTube ban hammer.
Yep. So David, what I gotta say to you, what I've always wanted to say to you is that you finally need to break this cycle of just anger, abuse, rage, and just finally be the leader that community wants. Trust me, I used to be a leader too, and I know how hard it is. I know more than anybody else in this room. But you have a duty to them to be better. So be better. All right?
Exactly. You need to do better than what you are doing now. These posts, they're too much. You have a young audience, David. You can't be saying you were gonna, how do I word this? Uh, delete yourself.
Yeah, you need to stop doing that.
You can't be like throwing fits all the time because, like you told me in DMs, you already got hit with a community guideline strike for this stuff one time.
Yeah, and
You really want to make it where you lose your channel?
and not because you deleted the original one. Because let me tell you, I have a website, so I can bounce back if something happens to my channel. But can you say the same for yourself?
When you're online, David, you really, really gotta freaking practice safety online, no matter what site it is, because all these people on here, they're vultures. Yep. They will eat you alive.
And while we're talking about safety, I mean, Jar totally didn't practice safety.
Oh yes, that is true. You're not wrong there. Jar did not practice safety.
No, he wanted to practice. He wanted to practice something else.
Actually, a lot of the art CC community do not practice safety online.
Half of our stuff is gore art. I'm like, bro, what the? Who finds this enjoyable in a very carnal way? Who finds that enjoyable? Ugh.
People with twisted minds, apparently.
Like, what happened to just regular NSFW? Like, dude.
But back on topic, David, you really, really gotta work on your online skills because I get it. It's so tempting to just go freaking nuts and just say whatever the heck you want because you're behind a screen. So nobody will know that it's you.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody in your personal real life that might be, but you can't be doing that because cancel culture has become more mainstream as of this year.
Yep, and more people are getting canceled. Some rightfully so, others not so much.
There have been so many people that Bugsy and I have witnessed get canceled.
Some deserving of that. Others,
Some deserving, others may not.
and others really, really deserving outside of YouTube, but we ain't talking about the diddler today.
Yeah, we're not talking about those people today.
And into a certain someone in the audience who I know is watching. Yes, yes, Sky. I'm still on the whole baby oil thing, but we'll talk about that later. Freaks me out. Anyways, let's get back on topic.
Right. What was I going to say? Like, David, I care about you. You can be a cool person when you want to be, but you really need to learn to control yourself.
Yeah, and you used to be to me, you used to be really cool. We were sitting. I remember we were on Messenger and we were watching the Sonic Symphony together, and it was cool. We were having so much fucking fun, man. You know, I'm an older Sonic fan because I've been around since almost since the beginning, since I was a kid, and just hearing your take on various things, you know, was good. You know, because I don't get that perspective from other Sonic fans who don't want to rip my head off. And I felt
And
that.
the Sonic fandom in general is already a, a waspness as it is. It's already so toxic with all these fans.
And all the people that was saying we can't critique Ian Flynn and a bunch of other shit.
But I don't want to see you end up getting canceled or worse.
Or getting on
But
some.
at the rate you're going with all these posts and stuff, I do think that it's going to end up happening if you do not change something. Because once you post something online, it's there forever. That's why it's called a web.
Mm-hmm. And you need to understand this. Keep making those posts. And someone's going to screen cap it. Or some big drama Sonic channel is going to see that shit. And they going to get you, man. Be glad that it's me and be glad that's me and Chrissy talking to you about this. Be glad it's just us. Because some motherfucker will totally be like, hey, who is this? Who is this McInerney? We can make a video out of that. They could be like that. You gotta be.
Had it been any of these other people covering drama and whatnot, they would eat you alive, David.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've seen it firsthand.
And they all
As
have.
someone who watches art commentary.
And let me just tell you, they'll have a bigger fan base than what you got. And I'd rather you not send a bunch of teenagers into a goddamn internet war. Some people are built like it, others aren't. But that's all I really have to say. Closing words, Chrissy?
I guess my final thing about this is I really don't know if I can continue associating with you, David, at this point in time. And unless I start seeing actual improvement on your part and seeing that you are going to work on yourself, I'm afraid I will have to limit my contact with you until there is some sort of improvement. And if there's not, then the block button's right there for me.
And if there ever is improvement, and you ever do decide, hey, I want to talk to Chrissy. I want to talk to Bugsy. See how you guys are doing, and we see actual improvement, and you want to chill out with us. You know how to reach us. Because honestly, man, I really do believe that you hang out with a certain group for too long, and you just kind of it's like you're a homunculus of all of everybody's traits, and you need some perspective from other people. That's why I was always trying to get you into like my friend group, so you can have a perspective from someone that isn't the group that you be hanging out with.
And that's not us saying that you should just ditch your group entirely. We're just saying find friends outside of that.
Yeah, because those friends.
Branch out into a different group circle. It's not easy, believe me.
Because let me just.
But if I can make friends in a new community that I really feel comfortable with currently, since I am technically no longer a part of the Sonic fandom, as an artist at least, then you can do the same, David. You can find other people with different interests that you may share with them, and you'll find some other people that you can hang out with besides the the core group that you already have within the Sonic fandom at least.
Because I have a bunch of people I be hanging out with, and I be hanging out with like some of the people in the old Homestuck fandom, and we be chilling. You ain't never seen a nicer bunch of people in this fandom, especially after Homestuck 2, before everything got different and it changed, and we have a new writing team. It's beautiful, but yeah, like just other groups that aren't toxic.
Yep.
Now, I shall go, for I need to prepare for a video tomorrow. That yes does involve Prime and Theo, and yes, they are gonna hit on each other during those videos.
Of course.
Yeah, they can't keep.
And I do need to get back to writing for my characters.
Yeah, Theo can't keep his hands off of Prime for any stretch of imagination. It's really kind of weird. But then again, I shouldn't talk about their lore because then I'm gonna start talking about my lore. I'm gonna get out of here now. Peace.
Later.